800-631-9170.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. It is a Monday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. If you are listening on the radio on ESPN 1090, glad to have everybody here. If you are watching on YouTube, heart and soul, what we do around here. We appreciate you guys. Get involved in our YouTube chat down below. There's links for all of our sponsors. Hey, by the way, speaking of links for our sponsors, are you guys getting our emails on Friday? You know, we send out about 17,000 emails on Friday. If you're not on our email list, go to our website, kaplanandcrew.com, scroll down to the bottom, give us your email. We'll put you on the email list, and you'll get our weekly emails on Friday. Look, tonight we're on TV, Channel 4 San Diego. You might be watching us right now. For those of you that are listening on radio, you're not, because we record it and then we put it on TV later. You see what I'm saying? So you can get us whenever you want us on all the different audio podcast platforms. So Grande, Brown Man, lots to jump into, but just back us up. Alex, Friday, we went to the San Diego State-San Jose State game. I said to you that I had heard that the San Diego State student section, the show, has been more like the no-show.
Right, and I defended them.
Yeah, tell us about your Friday night experience. I mean, here they're playing San Jose State. They're not a very good team. Yeah. And I wondered what the crowd was going to be like, and I wondered what the student section was going to be like. Yeah, so go ahead. Give us a report.
I was totally impressed by the show on Friday night. The crowd itself, definitely, I think the booster requirement probably is having people not show up to the capacity, because listen, West Coast Coastal Elite over here, you know, when you're sitting so close, you don't tend to turn around, you know, and I wasn't really looking forward and up. I was kind of just focused on, you know, when you sit that close,
how far we've come,
listening to Coach Dutch coach him up, listening to Dave Velasquez yell the whole game. You know, you kind of get enthralled with what's happening directly in front of you, that you don't look around.
Right, you're in the game.
You're in the game.
Yeah,
you're like part of the team. I fist bumped the guys as they went in to check in. So I did tweet you guys, because you guys were being such haters of the show on Friday. I did text you this picture of a very full the show.
A very full the show. Not a very full student section, a very full the show.
The show came out. The show was great. And as you guys know, when you're playing a team and you blow them out, the crowd isn't really going to be all that into it, because you're just blowing them out. So yeah, it was fun. And I was very impressed by the student section. Got to say hi to Uncle Teddy. Got to say hi to some San Diego State people. It was nice. Great time.
Now, when San Diego State's people see you sitting in these seats down at the...
Oh, I got a lot of looks.
You did?
You're like, you've never sat here before. You know, it's one of the seats that doesn't really rotate all that much. You know, it's kind of, I'm assuming it's like the same people.
Well, it's got their names on the back of the chairs.
On the back, right? Yeah. And the guy, you know, security guy looked at me. He's like, you know where you're going? I'm like, oh, I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going.
Never been there before, but I know where I'm going.
Oh, I know. I've seen him. I know where I'm going. So, yeah, the people with me were completely overwhelmed as to, I took Mar. She's never sat that close. She took a couple of her friends, or a couple, and they've never been to a basketball game before, like in life.
Yeah, spoiled.
I was like, you mean like,
so they're ruined. They're ruined.
I was like, you mean like you never been to like any game? They're like, never. I was like, well, I just ruined basketball for you. Like,
yeah,
pretty much.
You can't go sit up there now. Like, it's just not the same.
So I was watching now. I was watching part of the game. I'm trying to remember where I was on Friday night that I was watching part of the game. I know it was an early night. I know we turned in super early on Friday. I can't even remember where I was. But on Friday night, I was watching part of the San Diego State game, and I could see Alex, and I was pointing it out to Rachel too. I was like, oh wait, we're going to see Alex and Mar and their friends, because they're sitting courtside. They're sitting in the best seats in the house. And then I get a text from a friend of mine who gave me the tickets. And he said to me, he goes, who's sitting in my seats? And I said, Alex and his party. And he goes, well, next time you ask me for my seats, please make sure you tell me that they're not for you. And I wrote him back and I went, look at the text from up above. I said, hey, listen, are anybody using the seats Friday night? You said no. I said, hey, can I get them? But I have to tell you, they're not for me. They're for Grande and his crew. And he wrote me back. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I missed that text." I'm like, "Okay, it's all good."
Which means he would have said no.
He would have said no.
Right. He's like,
Yeah.
"Wait, they're not for you?" No.
Yeah.
No, he would have said
He would have
yes.
said no.
He would
Yeah,
have said
well,
yes. He's a
we
big
didn't
Grande fan.
We didn't embarrass him by any means or anything like that. So we very respectful. Didn't talk trash to anybody or get kicked out. Didn't do like those Laker fans did yesterday to Trevor Ariza and stuff. They were just very happy to be there. It was a great time. And I got to tell you guys, I got a new favorite player on the team.
Okay.
It's not Matt Bradley.
Okay.
It's not Trey Pulliam. It's not guys that have been on the team or at least I don't think he's been on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't even know the name because you're not watching this year.
No, I'm not. I got to be honest. I
Right.
feel terrible about it. In fact, I've been thinking to myself, maybe we should bring Coach Dutcher on the show. Maybe we should bring Coach Fisher. We haven't spoken to Coach Fisher in so long. Like I just miss Coach Fisher. I haven't spoken to him. And even in real life,
I
haven't
physically
spoken to
saw him there.
Yeah.
I didn't go up or say anything to him.
Yeah.
But I saw him. Looked great.
Did you see Billy Ray at the game?
I did not. And I actually did turn around for that because I was like, wait, sometimes Billy Ray sits like right back here.
Yeah.
And I stood up at halftime and I was like looking. I didn't see him. I don't know if he was there, but I didn't see him.
Okay. Got it. All right. So who's your new man crush on the San Diego State basketball team?
Chad Baker-Mazara, number 20 on San Diego State. The kid, listen, I know his stats don't look great. He had a great game on Friday. He scored 16 points, but he's just something about this guy. He's the energy of the team. He has some swag to him. He was wearing the dopest Jordans that I've been looking for him since Friday because I want him. Shout out to number 20, Chad Baker-Mazara, dude. I like him.
Nice.
I like him a lot. Got some hops, had a killer dunk, made a half-court shot before the game, got everybody going. I like him, man. A little sophomore. Yeah.
You got any pictures from your front row experience?
I think I actually took a video of him making a shot.
Oh, really?
I think I did.
Oh, look where he's at, man.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this.
The only downside,
yeah,
and this is, first world problems.
Let me guess.
Yeah.
Coach Dutcher, Coach, if you don't mind, would you sit down, please? You're in my way.
Coach, you're up 25. Listen, I understand everything's a teachable, coachable moment, but Coach, you're up 25. Can we have a seat?
Coach,
I'm trying to watch the game here.
Do you mind sitting down, Coach, please?
Yeah.
Look, Browner, you see that video where Alex is trying to take a video of his new man crush on the San Diego State basketball team, and Coach Dutcher's walking in front of him? Just
kind of in the way.
Get out of the way.
Elitist at its height right there, man.
Yeah.
This guy's in the front row, and his biggest problem is there's still another person in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to ref next time. Like I'm gonna need to be on the court.
Oh, just because there's no way to get any closer or get anywhere
right
closer to the game.
Those people you went with, man, you ruined them. You ruined them.
I gotta be honest with you, dude. This is not me trying to come off as anything. I just gotta be totally honest with you. That's not my place. My place is with the people. I need to be 15 rows up. I need to be elbow to elbow. I need to like high five fans. I need to get to the concession stand and order my own beer. Like that's me. As much as West Coast Coastal Elite as I may be, I'm still a man of the people. I need to be with the people. I love those seats. Thank you for the person that gave us those seats. I don't know if we say his name, but they were awesome and I appreciate it. But I'm good. That's too close. Like it's not the same. When you go to a game, you want to be in the game. You want to be with the fans.
Wow.
Now baseball, that's a different story. You put me front row all day. You put me front row all day with baseball, dude.
You know what's really great about sitting front row, though, at a San Diego State game like that is you're right. There's Coach Dutcher. You can hear his instructions.
Mm-hmm.
The players are walking on or off the floor. You can fist bump these dudes. You can hear the assistant coaches and what they're saying. The referee comes over and, he's inbounding the ball right there. You can talk to the referee in game. It is. I mean, you are literally sitting on the floor. You are in the game. Like last night, I was watching the Laker game and Mike Tyson was sitting on the floor. He had the front row seats. You had the Mike Tyson seats at San Diego State.
Yeah. I actually, it's probably because the game was a bit of a blowout, but I found myself just watching Dutch and the coaches more than I was the game. Like to me, like, I told you guys the NFL Films did the mic'd up stuff for the Super Bowl. Like to me, that's better than the game. And that's what I found myself like watching more. I think it's just fascinating to hear that stuff. There's so much going on that you don't ever get in a broadcast. Like you'll never get it in a broadcast. It's impossible. And it was cool, man. That was really cool.
Now, let me ask you a quick question. You said you went up and visited with Uncle Teddy.
Yeah, he walked by me and I stopped him and I grabbed him. I said hello. Yeah.
All right. And then
Yeah, didn't recognize me at all. He was wearing a mask. I was maskless at the time.
uh-huh.
But I haven't seen Uncle Teddy in the flesh. I honestly, dude, probably since I was his road engineer for San Diego State football.
Uh-huh.
It's been a very many years that I have seen Uncle Teddy in the flesh.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You're saying he didn't recognize you? Did you have to say, "Hey, Uncle Alex Padilla,
I
remember
did.
me?"
And he's like, "Oh yeah, hey." And then we talked for like 20 seconds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So no,
Now-
he didn't remember you.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
Wow. And then JB Long, who's the
Mhm.
play-by-play voice of the Rams,
Yes.
he was calling the game on Fox Sports 1.
Right.
Was he not at the game?
Not at the game. It was a remote game.
I knew it.
So he's
Yes.
calling the game from a studio in LA?
I'm assuming so.
From his
'Cause
house.
I looked over there
Mm-hmm.
and there was like, an empty 2 or 3 seats kind of where
Yeah.
they would normally be.
Right.
And then I spoke with Jamie from San Diego State,
Mhm.
sports information department. And I was like, "Hey, is Fox
Jimmy
not here?"
Chang?
I was like, "Is Fox not here?" He's like, "No, they're not here. They're not here today.
I don't think it's Jamie Chang.
It's not Jamie
Oh.
Chang."
It's a different Jamie.
Yeah.
Shout out
She
to
be
Jamie
working.
Chang.
She can have that job.
Yeah. Well, so anyway, okay, this is interesting because JB Long is going to be here today.
Right. Which is very interesting because I think he was actually in Seattle yesterday or this weekend calling Washington State.
Oh my.
Hmm?
Oh
So
my.
didn't take the drive down to San Diego,
But
flew
flew.
to Washington.
For a Sunday game?
I don't know if it was a Sunday game. It could have been a
Okay.
Saturday game.
Okay,
I'll
'cause
check
that- yeah, that's interesting. All
Yeah.
right. All right,
Double
JB Long will be here. He called the Super Bowl with the Rams. He
Mhm.
called San Diego State this past Friday night. And what I'm most curious about is like the highs of calling the Super Bowl at the NFL versus the lows of calling like a late season, regular season college basketball game, either in the Mountain West or the Pac-12.
Yep. He called,
And by the way, calling a game when you're not even at the game.
right. He called Washington beating Washington State on Saturday.
Wow, I wonder if
Wow.
he did both of those games from
Saturday night?
can you tell, was he at the game or was he?
He tweeted a picture of the overhead shot of the Mariners and Seahawks stadium.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that's him on a flight.
Oh.
Mm.
Oh.
Mm.
All right.
Maybe
this
he's
is
like that
curious.
part of the country better.
No, this is curious. I'm really interested. So JB
Here,
Long
let me
will
show
be
you
here.
what he tweeted.
Okay, let me see.
Because I think this is why he tweeted this on Saturday at 9:48 a.m.
Okay, let me see. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's from the plane.
Yeah. So so chances are he probably did the San Diego State game Friday night in LA and then
Jumped on a plane
flew
Saturday morning.
right, went up to Seattle
Yeah.
and then called the game in person for probably, I'm guessing, for the Pac-12 network.
Well, this has got to be like the life of a broadcaster right now. Like it's got to be weird. I'm sure he's doing multiple remote games, multiple in-person games.
You know what though? You know what would be interesting? Maybe we should bring on like Kevin Harlan this week and talk to him. Because remember when during the beginning of COVID, Kevin Harlan was in his basement calling NBA basketball games?
Yeah.
But now he's
Mhm.
back in the arenas. But I wonder if ever there's a time where he says, "Hey, I'll just be at home here in Kansas City, even though the Warriors are playing the Lakers. I'd rather be home than be at the game." Or now if he's required to go to these games.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
a good question.
But then we're talking about, is COVID over? Is COVID over? I think like most regulations are being dropped, right? Like,
Well, that is
well, at least at San Diego State, they still checked my Vax card,
Mhm.
and you were still required to wear a mask to enter.
Yeah.
But once I sat down, I never put it back on.
Yeah.
I think it depends on, because the university is a state school,
Mhm.
so maybe state regulations still apply, while private businesses may be doing something different. Because what's happening with Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn makes absolutely no sense, and so there's a lot of wishy-washy, weird things going on with it. So it's very confusing at this point.
What is happening with Kyrie in Brooklyn? Because I've been reading a little
that's
bit
a
about
weird one.
how
That's
in New
so
York
weird.
City.
So Kyrie Irving can practice at the team facility.
Uh-huh.
He can go through the pregame workout in the building where the game is.
Yeah.
He can sit on the bench, but he can't play in the actual game.
Why is that?
Says, according to Shams, the New York City will lift its vaccine mandate on March 7th.
Mhm.
But the private sector mandate still restricts Kyrie Irving from playing in home games Although now he could enter the building as a spectator.
What does private sector mandate mean?
Have no idea.
I mean, if you own the
Private
building,
business like Enron
right? But
or
what do you mean like Enron? Where'd that come from?
AT&T.
Yeah, but if
I was thinking-
you're a private business and you own the Barclays Center, or if you're a
Right.
private business and you own the Nets, can't you
Mhm.
say, hey, my policy is now I don't mind, anybody can come? Why can't he play?
Because it's a health and safety issue that the government mandated on the private sector of business. So they don't have a choice. They have to do it if you want to operate within the state of New York.
Have to
That's
do
why.
what?
For public safety. That's
but have
why
to
it
do
was
what?
issued. Wear a mask.
Yeah, but nobody's wearing a mask while they're playing ball.
That's my hope. That's why it's weird. That's why it's weird.
Even
That's
the
why it doesn't-
mayor is
like,
saying
why
it
can he
makes
come
no
in the
sense.
building if he
Yeah.
can't play?
Yeah. I mean, listen,
And-
I've been
and then-
anti-Kyrie this entire time because he wouldn't get vaccinated, and then of course he hurt his team because he wasn't available. But if and I'm just saying if because I don't know the science, okay, but I can just tell what's going on in the world. If COVID is over, and when I say over, I don't mean like nobody's ever going to get it again, but I mean like if we're going to go back to regular life, pre-pandemic life, because it's been 2 years and either everybody's been vaccinated and boosted, or those who have not are not, and those who have gotten it have gotten it. And unfortunately, people have died from it. But if you're going to lift the mask restrictions, and if you're going to say that you no longer need to, we're transitioning. As much as I was anti-Kyrie earlier in the year, if you're going to change the rules now because of the circumstances, then let the kid play.
Well, it's also never really made sense that opposing players that are not vaccinated
Right.
can play, but Kyrie can't
At home.
at home.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's
Yeah,
very weird.
he's gonna go from being like a villainous character at the beginning of the year to a
Being a
sympathetic
martyr.
character at the end of the year. You know?
Yeah. It's working. It's because now the rule just doesn't make any sense. Now
And when you got the
literally makes no
mayor,
sense now.
you got the mayor of New York saying this makes no sense. You got the commissioner of the NBA saying it makes no sense. Who's making the nonsense?
Governor
Like,
probably.
who's doing this then?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who's
I don't
the
know.
governor? I thought
I don't
the
know who the
governor
governor
got
of New York
ousted.
is anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Cuomo got ousted and then his brother got ousted from CNN.
Some woman.
It's a disaster. And dude,
By the way,
I'm
you
heading to
imagine
oh, go ahead.
you imagine the brother who worked for CNN for all these years, like
Chris?
all of us, yeah. From like trying to protect his brother and essentially getting fired from CNN to now one of the biggest stories on the planet. The story on the planet is the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and there's Chris Cuomo sitting on the sidelines, who would, as a TV broadcaster, that's what you
Oh,
want
he
to
be
do.
eating this up.
Probably
man. He
be in
eating this
Ukraine.
up. Yeah, he loves it.
Because
I feel bad for him.
the woman that goes on before after him, Erin
Aaron
Burnett.
Aaron Burnett, yeah.
she's out there. Yeah. it's
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
But
Hey,
I think they're making a podcast. I think the Cuomo brothers are going to do a podcast.
really.
Oh boy.
At least unless I read that totally wrong.
That's
But I
gonna be good.
Dude, but
And
Scott,
bad.
you ask, is it over? Dude, like I'm going to Chicago in 2 weeks,
Mhm.
and as of tomorrow, they're getting rid of all their COVID-19 restrictions.
I'm getting on a plane this Friday. I'm going to New Orleans. My daughter and I are going to visit Tulane University. By the way, wish me luck, guys. Wish me
Good
luck
luck.
that my daughter gets down to New Orleans and goes, this place is disgusting. I'm never coming to school here. Like, just wish me luck that is the case. And if she doesn't, if she comes back and she goes, no, it was awesome. We had a great time. I loved it. Wish me luck. Please start saying your prayers for me, everybody. Wish me
Where-
luck that my daughter gets into UCLA.
Did she get into Berkeley?
No, you don't find out about the UC system until late March. So, Berkeley and UCLA, we won't know until late March. Now, I told her, I said, listen, we let the universe decide. If you get into UCLA, you're going to UCLA. If you get into Cal, you're going to Cal. If you don't
Cal's
get in,
so awesome, man. I love Cal Berkeley.
I'm like, if you don't get into either, go to Tulane and do your thing, girlfriend. But if the universe says UCLA or Cal, you're going to those schools versus Tulane. So
Dude,
please.
that's such a random decision to like, because she got into other schools already, right?
She got into Wisconsin. She got into Indiana, Penn State, Michigan. You name it, she's pretty much gotten into it.
Why would she want to go to Wisconsin? Gross.
Well, even though you think everybody there is
It's a big
fat and
school.
ugly, it's an amazing, amazing school and an incredible campus. Great
It's a great
sports.
university.
Yeah, I mean it's
It's a
fun
great
place for
university,
school.
but the people,
Not
people.
You
I don't want her
anybody
infected by
about
those
the people.
people.
You don't know anything about
I
those
don't want
people.
her. I don't want her infected by those Wisconsinites.
So all I know is I'm going to New Orleans on Friday. And I mean, listen, I saw people in Mardi Gras this past weekend. Ain't nobody wearing a mask at Mardi Gras.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
It's
all right,
gonna be
listen,
interesting.
Let me have a minute here. I just want to make a mention real quick of Corky's Pest Control, 1-800-901-1102 for Corky's. If you have any sort of a problem in your house, it could be an ant problem. We fix that in 2 seconds. It could be that maybe you have like a termite issue and you're not really sure, like, how big of a deal is this? Well, Corky can look up your house on his computer. He can quote you a price for termite fumigation, and that's the price. Once it's quoted, it's quoted. And by the way, 4-year guarantee. There is nobody in the pest control industry that is a 4-year guarantee like Corky's Pest Control. So not only are you getting the best price, you're getting the best 4-year guarantee in the business. So if you have any sort of problems, could be rats, mice, could be spiders, ants, termites, it could be other big things that are living on your property that don't belong. You got a pest control problem? Corky's got a pest control answer. Call 1-800-901-1102.
Corky's.
Nicely done. Very nicely done. Hey, I want to talk about the Lakers and how the fans are booing the Lakers and how the players are responding to the fans. I want to get to that. Plus, JB Long will be here, the voice of the Rams, who called the San Diego State basketball game on Friday night. JB Long stopping by. Stick around.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
It doesn't matter what your background is and where you come from. If you have dreams and you have goals, and that's all that really matters.
I owe a lot to Charlie.
When you black, it's not a movement, it's a lifestyle. This is who we are.
The Rising, proudly brought to you by Subaru of El Cajon, an extraordinary experience for everyone. We were the first. We carry the fire that began civilizations, and then we built them. We strengthened a nation, and then we fought for it. We are scientists, poets, and lawmakers. We are artists, leaders, and warriors. And as we gaze toward tomorrow, we leave an indelible mark on the past. Black History Month on Your View is proudly brought to you by Subaru of El Cajon, an extraordinary experience for everyone.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. Main Street Living covers what's important to you today, from our street to your street. Join Cheryl, Danielle, and Quincy for Main Street Living, Mondays at 9 on Your View.
I founded Driveway Auction after working in the automotive industry, becoming a dealer and questioning the process that puts consumers at a huge disadvantage when selling their cars.
The big difference between Driveway and the other services is that Driveway works for you. If you've ever tried to sell a car, you know that it's an awful process that makes you either go and meet strangers in parking lots to take test drives or sit at the dealership for hours and hours while they wear you down. Driveway eliminated all of that.
With Driveway Auction, we come to you, so we complete the 40-point vehicle inspection from the comfort and convenience of your own driveway.
We send an independent third-party inspector to take measurements of the car, take pictures of it, evaluate the condition.
We use that information to advocate for you, using our network of buyers to compete. And when they compete, you win.
They take over the whole process, and you don't have to do anything.
Our clients get more money and a better process with Driveway.
Everybody at Driveway made me feel so comfortable during the whole process. It was a great experience.
Prospect
Prospect Home Finance is a mortgage company. We specialize in residential refinances and home purchases. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, if you're going out looking for a pre-approval to buy a new home, meet with the realtor, we would help you facilitate that and walk you through the process from A to Z. We specialize in getting homeowners loans for their dream home, but we also do more than that. So today we came down to Ocean Beach, partnered up with Surfrider, and had some team members come down here from Prospect, all pitched together, and had quite a bit of trash to clean up.
It's really heartening to see people come out and really care for the waterways.
It was great getting out here, and we're gonna do it again soon. We're always looking for ways to give back to the community of San Diego. So if you have any ideas or need any help or support in any way, visit us at homefinance.com.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com.
Explore the Southwest lifestyle, the culture, the music, the food, y más. Join hosts J.R. Cardenas and Vanessa Ramirez on Su Vida.
Well, the holidays are well behind us.
And unfortunately, I'm still carrying those Christmas cookies, Vanessa.
That means it's time for this team to get in shape on the next Su Vida.
Yeah, you should have made me those tamales.
Watch Su Vida, Sunday night at 7 on YourView and YourView.com.
When doors open for kids, they change lives. For over 75 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego has been opening its doors to provide a safe place for kids whenever they are out of school. A place with caring mentors and opportunities to focus on academic success, healthy lifestyles, and character building. At the club, we do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid that walks through our doors by inspiring, empowering, and changing lives.
We were the first. We carry the fire that began civilizations, and then we built them. We strengthened a nation, and then we fought for it. We are scientists, poets, and lawmakers. We are artists, leaders, and warriors. And as we gaze toward tomorrow, we leave an indelible mark on the past. Black History Month on Your View is proudly brought to you by Subaru of El Cajon, an extraordinary experience for everyone.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
San Diego State men's basketball got the win against San Jose State last Friday, 77-52. Chad Baker-Mazara had 16 points with 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and an assist. Matt Bradley had 15 points and had a game-high tying 3 assists. Keshad Johnson also had 3 assists and finished with 14 points. Nathan Mensah had double-digit rebounds for the 5th time this season and the 2nd straight game. It's the 3rd time in his career he has had back-to-back games with at least 10 rebounds. Mensah has recorded at least 1 block in 40 of his 51 career Mountain West games as well. SDSU takes on Wyoming Monday night. The Aztecs are 1 game behind the Cowboys in the loss column with 3 games left to play in the regular season. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by YourView.
Prospect Home Finance, San Diego's mortgage leader, is celebrating 15 years of happy clients. HomeFinance.com is the go-to resource online or on your mobile device to discover your best home loan options.
Hi, I'm Jason Vondrak, CEO at Prospect Home Finance. I want to say thank you to all of our clients, both past and future. As part of our 15-year anniversary, we'll close your home loan in 15 business days.
Start your easy home finance process today at HomeFinance.com.
My intention is to box to win a clean fight.
Convicted for draft evasion, threatened with imprisonment, Muhammad Ali is banned from fighting in all 50 states. But in Atlanta, Georgia, in October of 1970, that all changed. Matched against the top contender for the boxing crown, the greatest is back.
Ali's comeback, proudly brought to you by Subaru of El Cajon.
Welcome back This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. This is Kaplan and Crew, along with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, broadcasting on the airwaves of ESPN 1090 throughout Southern California. Tonight, you'll catch up to us on television, Channel 4 San Diego, part of the Cox YourView network. So if you're in LA or Orange County, it's Channel 118 on Spectrum or Cox. If you're in Santa Barbara, it's on Channel 4 as well. You can get us on YouTube. We're on right now. Get involved in our YouTube chat. And of course, audio podcasters, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher. And I'm sure, in fact, somebody sent me an email over the weekend and told me that they listen on the iHeart app. How could we possibly be on iHeart? I don't even understand how we're on their app, but I don't know, man. We're if you listen to audio podcasts, just look for us and you'll find us. We're around, man. All right, so listen, Grande, Brown Man, JB Long went from the highs of calling the Rams postseason and making it to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl, dramatic fashion, to 2 weeks later, my man is calling the San Diego State, San Jose State basketball game. Now, look, I got it. You know, when you're a broadcaster, when you're a play-by-play man, that's what you do. You got a game, I'll come call it. They pay me to do this. But man, the highs of the Super Bowl versus what my perceived lows of like a regular season Mountain West basketball game, we had to discuss. So here is JB Long, the voice of the Rams, who also calls a lot of college basketball. We saw him on FS1 this past weekend. I think he does Pac-12 games on their network. JB Long returns to Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. JB, good afternoon on this Monday. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, Scott and team. Thank you for the invitation. It's good to catch up with you. I feel like I have decompressed and got my head out of football season and more into basketball season, and that San Diego State win over San Jose State was a big part of that.
Yeah, tell us the deal, because Alex was at the game on Friday night.
Oh, yeah?
And he had the perfect front row seats, which are like literally right next to Brian Dutcher and the San Diego State basketball team. And he said, hey, I'm going to go say hello to JB Long. I'm going to go get a chance to say hi in person. And Alex said he was looking for you down at Viejas Arena and couldn't find you. So explain to us, if you don't mind, how you call the San Diego State, San Jose State game, but apparently on remote.
Yes, a lot of the broadcasting model, including the most recent Olympics, are being produced and executed that way. It's something that I've had a hand in going back to Pac-12 Network's early production model. And with the pandemic, it seems like it's only accelerated everyone's capacity for and appetite for producing a lot of live events from a remote location, a central location. So Casey Jacobson and I, as well as our producer and director and support staff, are all on the Pico lot, the Fox lot, here in Los Angeles, a short drive away from Viejas Arena. In some ways, some great views, in other ways, not as good as courtside, but we take what we can get. And if that's the option available to us, we make the most of it, and hopefully we did the game service.
And how many screens are in front of you when you're doing that? Like how many? 2, 4?
Yeah, so 4 medium, modest-sized ones with anything from stat broadcast to the game feed to promotional copy, isolated each in turn, and then over our shoulder to our right, I guess, the biggest flat screen I've ever seen in person, just in case anything deserves further scrutiny. So no shortage of viewpoints. And I will say, compared to some games that I call in person, including most recently in Seattle this weekend, Washington State, Washington, I feel silly sometimes because you're looking at like a close replay, like a who touched it last type of call. And I'm sitting there looking at a laptop size monitor thinking everyone at home or at the sports bar has a better view, has, higher resolution of this than I do. And yet it's my job to kind of weigh in on whether or not that was the Cougs or the Huskies who touched it last. Like, you tell us.
Oh, that's very funny. So just explain this part of it to us, though. So Friday night, you called the San Diego State, San Jose State game from the Fox lot in LA.
Mm-hmm.
But then we saw your tweet Saturday morning, which you could see the football stadium and the baseball stadium in Seattle as you were flying overhead. So why go to one versus the other? Why not both? Why do you not do all these broadcasts from a studio? Why do you actually go on site?
Yeah. Good question. Definitely above my pay grade. I think the volume is such that you have to use all your available resources probably for television networks. In some cases, that means a full truck crew on site. In other cases, it means maximizing the booth space and the resources that you have back at the mothership. And it probably takes all of that in conjunction to handle, especially this stretch run of college basketball where everyone's wrapping up their regular season and getting ready for conference tournaments. So
were you doing FS1 on Friday night? Was it Pac-12 Network on Saturday?
correct.
Are they related in some way, or are these two totally separate deals?
Related in that Fox has a Pac-12 contract, and that in addition to Big East, Big Ten, and Mountain West, they cover a lot of Pac-12 hoops. Like I'll do the same model on Thursday night. Oregon State, Washington State won't be in Pullman, will be on the Fox lot, and then Saturday in Tucson in person for Pac-12 Network. So,
wow. How is it, JB, to go from the high of the Super Bowl?
I don't like the way you're framing this. Like, I feel like you're slamming San Diego State right now.
No, I'm not trying to. What? Let me put it into our terms, okay?
JB, just for perspective's sake, I'm a big San Diego State homer here because I went there and that's my team. And these two guys hate the program. So
that is so
hates the stretch. Hates the stretch.
I mean, Chad Baker Mazzara is basically the Cooper Cup of the Aztecs.
I literally just finished talking about Chad Baker Mazzara. I said he's my new favorite player. I love that kid. I just finished talking about him.
Yeah.
Nice.
JB, this is a
Sounds
complete
like a casserole.
misrepresentation. Misrepresentation. I was, and I'm still a huge supporter. It's just that through COVID, this has been the weirdest part of COVID, at least from me, from a sports fan perspective. San Diego State basketball has been one of these things that has fallen off my radar. Because when San Diego State, the history of the basketball program, like in the 2003-4 range, when they were first starting to get good, I remember my son was probably about 5 years old, and they beat Wyoming to win their first Mountain West Conference regular season title. And the seats that Alex was sitting in this weekend, my 5-year-old son at the time, we're going back like 15 years ago or so, maybe a little more, standing right there with the players on the table, dancing and cheering. Like I've been part of the San Diego State, the whole thing, from when they were garbage to when they got great and they were Sweet 16 caliber teams, the transition from Coach Fisher to Coach Dutcher. I've been there for all of it. But for some reason in the last 2 seasons through COVID, they're like off my radar for some reason. I don't really have an answer for it. So when Alex says he doesn't like the way I'm framing it, what I'm saying is that you when you call the Super Bowl and you call the playoffs and the excitement of the Rams going through the postseason, and then you kind of come back, is what I'm saying. You come back to regular season college basketball versus NFL playoffs
From a studio.
Right. And right. It's like, there's Tom Brady, there's Matthew Stafford, there's this incredible comeback, and then there's another big deep pass late, and the Rams actually pull it up, and then the Super Bowl in SoFi Stadium. All I'm saying is, what is it like for you to go from the highest of the highs of Super Bowl and the Rams to back to regular season mid-major college basketball?
Yeah. Well, Scott, as you know, I mean, they pay us to do these things, right? And in all reality, we would probably pay them. Like, don't let any of our bosses know, but it's a true privilege to be where we are and get to do what we get to do and sit where we get to sit. So are there different adrenaline rushes and different peaks and valleys through any season and any opportunity? Absolutely. But I think the reason why it is a profession is because it's our job to make our audience feel like what we're doing in that moment is the most important thing and the only thing we want to be doing. And who we're sitting next to is the only person we want to be sharing that conversation, right? So whether it's you or Alex, like if you've chosen to be with us for one segment of that game or the 2 hours, that they used to beat San Jose State, that we're right there with you and that we feel like you're making the correct choice as opposed to streaming Netflix or watching the news or reading a book or whatever it is you might be doing.
Yeah.
How long of a break did you have from Super Bowl Sunday to the next game?
So Monday after Super Bowl was sleep in, get right with the kids and on the home front. Tuesday was planning for the parade. Wednesday was the parade. And then Thursday night I was at Galen Center for a basketball game.
Oh my God. Who played?
Oh man, you're
it's all a blur.
It was all a blur. Was that Washington State? No, it was UW. UW at USC. And It was not my finest hour. It was an 8 o'clock game, and after one of the biggest weeks of my life, my professional life, certainly. So
You mean to tell me
USC
nobody was like, hey, listen, JB, look, I know we've got you scheduled for this USC UW game, like number 1 versus number 2 in the country. You know, it's a monster game. Hey, you know what? We're going to give you a day off because, you know, Super Bowl, rest, get yourself ready for the parade, host all the parade. We kind of want to give you some time because you're not going to have as much time to prep, you know? And it's such a monster game. We're going to put somebody else on it and give you a break. Nobody could give you a break.
I mean, they could have. Maybe from their standpoint, they should have or would in retrospect. But you know, you book out your calendar hoping for the best for the Rams, but you certainly don't want to plan on them going a month deeper than you anticipated and forego all the other things professionally that you have going on. So, fortunately, I've seen Washington, I've seen USC. I'm very familiar with both of their teams and their rosters. It was a pretty straightforward prep and a big moment in USC season in particular. So I was glad to be there, but it was more just being emotionally prepared and invested. That was the challenge of that particular moment.
When did you know? This is an arrogant question. When did you know you were good at this? Like when did you say to yourself, I got this? Yeah, it's time to. I'm a big boy now. Look at me.
What do you mean? You mean like basketball, football,
No,
just play-by-play in general?
If a person is going and doing all the things that he's doing, clearly he's in front of a lot of people. So to get to where you are, at one point you were not who you are. You were a smaller person announcing baseball games in the back of some field somewhere. And now you're announcing the Super Bowl. The road to that, the ups and downs of that. At what point did you know, I got this?
So I appreciate the question. And if you don't mind, I'm going to be a bit vulnerable here. Coming off the Super Bowl was actually one of the toughest professional moments of my life because I didn't feel like I rose to the occasion and I was dissatisfied with my performance on that day. So part of the reason why I think I needed that SC basketball game or the parade or whatever else came next is because I was having trouble moving beyond that and forgiving myself or just allowing for my imperfections. If I could go back in time, I would love to recall that Super Bowl and some of the key moments. I feel like the players and the team that I work for deserve better than I was able to give them, and I feel badly about that. And that's something.
Why? What did you not like
about my life?
Why?
So,
What did you not like about your Super Bowl call? What?
I'd rather not relive some of the specifics, but just being self-critical and also self-conscious. You know, it wasn't my best moment, my best moments. And
wow, you are hard on yourself, pal.
Yeah, but I think part of it too is the gravity, Scott, that there's only one of those chances, right? There's only one time in all of our lives that the Rams are going to host a Super Bowl in their own stadium and that Cooper Kupp's going to score the game-winning touchdown and Aaron Donald's going to cap it with the pressure that he did. And you want to be perfect in those moments. You want to be as good as the players and the coaches were in those moments because they deserve that and your audience deserves that. And there's no second drafts of what we get to do. So I guess my answer to the question is I never have felt like I'm there or have arrived. And I, to this day, after 6 years, have never felt deserving of the role that I have with the Rams, and I probably never will.
Wow. JB Long is here this afternoon. He's the play-by-play voice of the Rams, but he also transitions right away from football season directly into college basketball season. Dude, let me just tell you something. I could not disagree with you more. I thought your call of the Super Bowl was great. I listened to a lot of it because I was trying to take in as much as I could. So I had on the radio as well as the TV. So that's number one. Number two, I thought all of your pre-produced content going into the Super Bowl, like your season recap, where you voiced the whole season, I thought that was spectacular. I thought the way you hosted the parade and sort of the not the parade part of it, but the speech part of it. I don't know what what do you call that part of it? I don't even know.
Master of ceremonies.
No. But where you were at the Coliseum and you're kind of, anyway, whatever. The way you emceed that parade, I thought you did a great job. And I actually thought, I was like, wow, I thought JB, I was like, as somebody who's been following this for years and we've had you on forever and I'm a fan and a friend, I was thinking, dude, this guy just elevated his game.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And I don't mean to bat it aside. I really don't. From my wife to peers and colleagues and people like you, Scott, like everything matters and I take it all to heart. But the person I'm accountable to first and foremost is myself. And I took my headset off that night, not feeling great about myself, but also realizing that it's going to be the best lesson and the best learning opportunity in my career. And I don't want to overlook that. And then most importantly, that it never is about me. It's always about the team and the players that I cover, and trying not to let my personal dissatisfaction get in the way of what is the all-time greatest moment in the history of the Los Angeles Rams and everyone who loves them. So.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'll share one thing with you, and then I want to keep going. Dick Enberg, who I was very, very lucky to have a really close relationship with Dick Enberg, particularly the last probably 5 to 10 years of his life. And I worked with Dick, his broadcasts. I was on the sideline, many radio games for Westwood One. And I always thought to myself, how is it that Dick Enberg is so rich and so famous, and he shows up at Padres games? The Padres could be playing the Florida Marlins in the middle of the summer, and it's not about like, hey, I'm here, I'm in the house. I make it sound like a big deal. It was like, it's never about me. Dick Enberg was 70 something years old, and it was all about a crappy baseball game in front of him, you know? And so I always admired the hell out of that about Dick, that he was a bigger star and maybe richer than a lot of the ball players he was covering, but it was never about him. It was always about them. And I always really loved that. So JB Long is here. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. So you had asked Aaron Donald during the parade, hey, Sean McVay's back here, wants to know if you want to run it back. At that time, there was talk about Aaron Donald possibly retiring. There was talk about Sean McVay possibly retiring. I never thought either of them would. But, JB, when you see somebody like Amazon come in and, according to the reports, offer Sean McVay $100 million to be their broadcaster when Troy Aikman's going to get $90 million, $18 million a season, I didn't think Sean McVay was going to retire. I thought he's a football addict, and he's too young. He got too much energy and too much love for the game. But, dude, $100 million to become a broadcaster? Were you surprised at all of this talk about McVay leaving the sideline to go into a broadcast booth?
It is staggering, isn't it? The fact that maybe the analyst covering a game on a Sunday night or Monday night or a Thursday night might collect more for that window of work than the coach who's on the sideline calling the plays and potentially winning that game. The economics of our world have never made a ton of sense to me, but that's just the most recent example. And look, Sean's earned all of the interest in his skill set, broadcasting, coaching, leadership, all those sorts of things. And that was a really special moment that you're referencing at the parade for me, because in the jubilation of winning that championship, there was, I don't want to say a dark cloud, that's putting it too strongly, but this specter of what if this is it for two of the Rams figures that I think fans admire most and have been most instrumental in their success. And, as I guess the informal MC of that event, I don't think I needed to be told that it wasn't the platform or the format for asking people like Aaron Donald about their futures, right? It was supposed to be relishing that moment in time and their accomplishment. But Sean McVay gave me the excuse, gave me the carte blanche to ask the question on his behalf. He's just kind of jamming me in the ribs saying, ask him. And I'm looking at him like, here's the mic. You ask him. and then he had a second thought. He's like, no, I shouldn't. He's like, but dude, ask him if he'll run it back. And, with kind of the weight of that moment on my shoulders, I was just so privileged to be, I guess, the conduit between those two men and how much I admire and respect them, and just their gleeful passion for what they have. And, even if they were considering other possibilities for their next week, their next month, their next year, their next decade, the truth kind of came out in that moment that they love what they do too much and they love each other too much for this to be the end.
Yeah. Amazing. We're talking to JB Long this afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. And we're kind of floating back and forth between the Rams and the celebration into college basketball. So,
well, if they do run it back,
yeah,
you may get another shot at calling another Super Bowl, dude, because if you look at the landscape of the NFC, I mean, the Bucks, who knows? The Packers, depends on Rodgers. The Niners, looks like they're trading Jimmy Garoppolo. You look at the power of the NFC, who's going to be the favorite next year?
Bears.
No, I think there's some truth to that. And I think in anticipation of the Super Bowl, one of my charges was to put a different spin on the all-in narrative, right? In anticipation of whatever might happen for those 4 hours on Super Bowl Sunday. who would you pick ahead of the Rams in the NFC West looking ahead to next season? Or who would you consider to be a better NFC contender with their nucleus coming back for that next go round? But you can look at it through the other lens too, which is how many stars had to align for the Rams to get to where they just finished.
Yeah.
I mean, just working back in time, the Bengals coming from behind throughout their playoff run to take out Patrick Mahomes and a much more experienced championship roster in Kansas City. Losing at home to the San Francisco 49ers in week 18 to get that double agent into the NFC playoff field where they wiped out the Cowboys and then go and took the Packers out in Green Bay, which could the Rams have gone and beaten Rodgers and Lambeau? Sure. Were the odds stacked against them? Would most outsiders have said that they were the underdog in that potential matchup in the NFC Championship game? Absolutely. So the Niners kind of brought it home to them at SoFi Stadium. All that to say that whether it's trading for a Von Miller or finding an Odell Beckham Jr. suddenly and unexpectedly a free agent at midseason, to think that a year from now they would have even a fraction of the opportunity they just capitalized on is hard to reconcile right now.
I know. Hey, JB Long, Browner, unfortunately, we're out of time.
We're out of time, yeah.
We're out of time. I can't believe it. We're out of time.
We're out of time. It's cool.
I know. It's not cool. It sucks. JB, we appreciate you, pal, but we got to hit this break, man. We do appreciate you. We'll look forward to seeing you again real soon. JB Long, thank you, man. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
You're listening to the 50,000-watt Powerhouse, bringing you the new generation of radio up and down all of California with a little bit of attitude. This is SoCal Sports Talk, the all-new and mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on Your View, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. And visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
We were the first. We carry the fire that began civilizations, and then we built them. We strengthened a nation, and then we fought for it. We are scientists, poets, and lawmakers. We are artists, leaders, and warriors. And as we gaze toward tomorrow, we leave an indelible mark on the past. Black History Month on Your View is proudly brought to you by Subaru of El Cajon, an extraordinary experience for everyone.
Prospect Home Finance, San Diego's mortgage leader, is celebrating 15 years of happy clients. HomeFinance.com is the go-to resource online or on your mobile device to discover your best home loan options.
Hi, I'm Jason Bondrak, CEO at Prospect Home Finance. I want to say thank you to all of our clients, both past and future. As part of our 15-year anniversary, we'll close your home loan in 15 business days.
Start your easy home finance process today at HomeFinance.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
San Diego State men's basketball got the win against San Jose State last Friday, 77-52. Chad Baker-Mazara had 16 points with 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and an assist. Matt Bradley had 15 points and had a game-high tying 3 assists. Keshad Johnson also had 3 assists and finished with 14 points. Nathan Mensah had double-digit rebounds for the 5th time this season and the 2nd straight game. It's the 3rd time in his career he has had back-to-back games with at least 10 rebounds. Mensah has recorded at least 1 block in 40 of his 51 career Mountain West games as well. SDSU takes on Wyoming Monday night. The Aztecs are 1 game behind the Cowboys in the loss column with 3 games left to play in the regular season. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
Today, we proudly held the ribbon cutting ceremony for our new office in La Jolla, California. Here we are in the Merrill Lynch building, right in the middle of the village, and really, really happy to be part of this neighborhood. This is really special to Prospect in that it almost signifies the fact that we've grown up officially. We have survived the past 15 years by being very agile. We come to this one amazing location from 3 separate offices. So it's fantastic having everyone under one roof. This is going to do wonders in terms of streamlining our operations, being able to communicate with someone down the hall as opposed to someone who's several blocks away is going to be terrific. Our CEO, Jason Vondrack, he's a very humble person, but I know this day really, really means a lot to him in that he has led this company for 15 years. And he started this business out of a studio apartment. And look where we are now. That's huge. I think this new space signifies just endless possibilities for prospects. I mean, we're headquartered in La Jolla, but we do business all around the country. So our goal is to be licensed to offer home financing in all 50 states, and we're well on our way.
Prospect Home Finance. Fast, friendly, affordable.
I would describe former Commissioner Weekly as a very thoughtful, engaged, and also a very inspiring leader.
He is one of those walking examples of sort of a full circle moment of community engagement, community support, and leadership.
I had very humble beginnings, and to see that my life had purpose, or it has purpose, that it's impacting someone else's life, wow, it's an extraordinary feeling.
He's definitely paved the path for many in not only District D and the historic West Side, but all across our region.
I hope that this inspires some young person who may have had a humble beginning like mine to know that you can make it. You can make it. Allow people out there to love on you and encourage you and pour into you.
Prospect Home Finance is a mortgage company. We specialize in residential refinances and home purchases. So Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. If you're going out looking for a pre-approval to buy a new home, meet with the realtor, we would help you facilitate that and walk you through the process from A to Z. We specialize in getting homeowners loans for their dream home, but we also do more than that. So today we came down to Ocean Beach, partnered up with Surfrider, and had some team members come down here from Prospect, all pitched together, and had quite a bit of trash to clean up.
It's really heartening to see people come out and really care for the waterways.
It was great getting out here, and we're going to do it again soon. We're always looking for ways to give back to the community of San Diego. So if you have any ideas or need any help or support in any way, visit us at homefinance.com.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Hi, my name is Giovanni, and this is my mural. What intrigued me most about this project is that I realized there was not a lot of black street artists, and then there was not a lot of black art on walls. So that's what intrigues me the most, is that this is a project that's putting up multiple and plentiful walls of black people on walls.
I'm Deborah, and this is my mural. When I was approached about this project as a portrait painter, I kind of like the idea of a challenge. I've done large-scale pieces that were called murals, but I had never done an outdoor mural, and I really love the subject matter. They didn't assign the subjects right off the bat. We had to kind of hear what they were going to do, and I was thrilled. I got to pick it, and this is the one that I was most happy with.
If you love animals, Animal Zone is for you. From rescues to animal experts, Animal Zone is fun for the whole family. Watch Animal Zone right here on YourView, Saturdays at 8:30 a.m. And visit animalzone.org to learn more about the show.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 a.m. ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
The holidays are well behind us.
Well, I'm still carrying those tamales, cookies, and your rum cake you make, Vanessa.
I can see that. So that means it's time for this team to get in shape. Today on Su Vida. So I wore this for inspiration.
So I'm never having a rum cake again.
I mean, it's delicious though.